It's Tim Shurr. Happy New Year 2021. Thank goodness it's finally here. I know 2021 was an unusual year in our history and full of challenges and stress and worry and uncertainty. However, we are always going to have experiences where people feel stressed and uncertain. I mean, even if everything was the way that it was a year ago, where it was normal, I mean, do you still know what's going to happen tomorrow? Did you know what's going to happen an hour from now? I mean, we might have a plan. I don't know about you, but often I have a plan and then I have what actually happens. So, really, the idea of certainty is a myth. There's no certainty. I don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. My wife could walk in the room. I could get a phone call. Who knows what's going to happen, right? 5 minutes from now. So we have to create an internal sense of security, an internal sense of feeling secure. And when you understand how to do that, your life transforms. You are able to feel more calm, more confident. You're able to achieve goals easier. You're able to improve your health, your happiness, your money, your marriage. It doesn't mean that, all of a sudden everything gets easy. I mean, there's still going to be challenges. However, you're able to get more of what you want because you are learning how to use the power of your mind to create your life by design. Most people are not using the power of their mind in the way that they could be, and that's why they're not getting the results that they could be having. Most of us, just to be honest, wing it, right? If you don't understand how your mind works, then you're not really optimizing your thoughts. You're not optimizing your beliefs. You're not using visualization or using pleasure and pain strategically to cause you to have a lifetime of motivation. We're not doing any of that. What we tend to do is focus on changing our external environment instead of working on what's going on in your internal environment. Success happens in here, not out there. And most people don't realize that. That's why people struggle to achieve their goals. They're trying to solve a problem by fixing X when it's really Y that's the issue, right? We're treating the symptoms of our stress and our pressure instead of dealing with the source or the core of what's holding us back. And so I wrote this book. It's called One Belief Away. I don't know if you can see it on my shelf back there. There it is. It's on the shelf. Or if you just go to onebeliefawaybook.com, then you can sign up for the launch party that I'm doing with Joe Vitale live. My new book, or our new book, comes out January 19th, 2021. It'll be on Amazon. You can grab a copy of it. It will transform your life. It teaches you how your mind works. So I got into this business of coaching and counseling and helping people to achieve every possible goal there is. I started my practice in 1995. This year in May will be my 27th year of helping people. I got a reputation as the go-to guy. If you have a problem, I will help you solve it right here, right now, because I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of study into human behavior. In fact, I've been at this game for 32 years, and over the course of my time, I have used tools like hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom technique, EMDR, any kind of tool or strategy, even Tai Chi, meditation, Qigong, any tool or strategy that would help to create inner peace and prosperity, to help optimize your life. I've studied it deeply for many, many years. And during that time, I facilitated over 15,000 1-hour sessions. 15,000 of them, 1-hour sessions. And this is how I did it. I was doing individual sessions, and then I was doing groups, and then I met a business coach who taught me how to schedule 3 people an hour. And I would schedule people from at 10 a.m., 10:20, 10:40. 11 a.m., 11:20, 11:40, and I would go from 10 in the morning till 8 p.m. at night. And I would walk into the room with someone, and I would ask them what their biggest challenge was, and then I would get them very relaxed. Then I would have them listen to a little bit of a self-hypnosis audio program where it just used music and positive affirmations to help people feel relaxed and at ease. I called it a mind massage. They'd listen to that for about 15, 20 minutes while I went into the next treatment room and started working with the next client. Figured out what's the challenge, here's the solution, and then get them into that place of relaxation, put some headphones on them, go to the next treatment room. And then I would go back in, and that person that had been listening to that relaxation is nice and relaxed in an open, suggestible, receptive state of mind. And then I would start using the tool, using the strategy, using the technique to upgrade a belief or create a new neuroassociation in their mind, which means I'm associating pleasure to the activity they want to engage in, and I'm associating pain or discomfort or yuck or ugh to the feeling that's been sabotaging them, so that your brain naturally wants to move in the direction that allows you to achieve your goal. So I would do a whole bunch of cool stuff that would help produce the result. Then we'd bring them out of the session. They'd be like, wow, I feel amazing. They would go on, and then I would go into the next session while my receptionist would bring the next person in. And I would go from room to room to room like a medical doctor who walks in with his clipboard, his or her clipboard, asks you a couple of questions, gives you a script, and then goes to the next room. Every once in a while, they look up your nose or in your ear, right? But then they go to the next room. And that's what I was doing. And I got so good at it because I did it for years, years and years. I was seeing up to 60 clients a week, just going from person to person, every kind of person, every kind of problem, from every religion, every culture, different parts of the world, every kind of experience that human beings can go through. And I worked with top CEOs, and I worked with moms and dads that were just helping trying to raise their kids. I've worked with Olympic athletes. I've worked with teenage athletes. I've worked with veterans from every war that people are alive for, from the Vietnam War all the way through Iraq and Afghanistan and other places that, people have told me that they've been in, and help them with all kinds of challenges, and got really good at helping people to get rid of anxiety, to break bad habits, to rebuild their self-confidence, their self-worth, their self-love, their self-esteem, and fears, worries of all kinds. I've worked with kids from age 6 all the way up to 90, 91 I think was, actually I worked with a client that was 96 years old. So and I worked with a 5-year-old at one time. So between 5 and 96, those are all the age ranges, men, women, and people that would consider themselves, in between somewhere, right? And so I have had so much experience that I just started observing the patterns. Wow, when you do this, you get this outcome. When you do this, you get that outcome. If we move this around, or if you imagine this, or you say this to yourself, this is what happens. And I just kept trying to figure out what is the right combination. And over time, a set of patterns emerged, because human beings tend to think that we're all so different, but we're not. In here, we're all the same. We have a little bit of variation, but the experiences, how you have those experiences are slightly different. But really, the stories tend to be the same stories over and over. This bad thing happened to me. I got the idea that I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. There's never enough. I have scarcity. All these ideas that happen. You can't trust people. I should have done this instead of that. And now I don't deserve to be happy. Or I don't deserve to feel good about myself. I mean, there's so many challenges. And I started realizing that every time there's something that's in the way of you getting what you want, there's a belief behind it, which is when I started changing that belief, going from I can't to I can, going from I'm not worthy to I am, going from I'm not good enough to I am good enough, I'm dumb, no, I'm smart, going from whatever that worry or that fear or that lie is that you bought into, and you didn't even know you bought into it. These lies usually get absorbed into our brain when we're little, when we're kids, but those lies get in there, and then all of a sudden we start behaving based on those faulty beliefs, those negative, I call them self-limiting beliefs. And people will say, yeah, well, you don't understand though, this is all my experience, I have all this evidence that things aren't going to work out for me. Well, you only have that evidence because you started out with a bunch of limiting beliefs that cause you to behave or show up in that way, and that's why you have those experiences. Not because you're not smart enough or good enough or loving enough or capable enough. It's not because of that. It's because you had beliefs, you had opinions, you had ideas in your mind that caused you to think that. So that's how you showed up. That's how you behaved. If you had a different set of beliefs back then, you would have showed up different. And then you behave different, you'd have a different outcome. But it's not about, oh, well, I should have a different life then, and and I'm resentful that my life should have been different. No, your life is exactly the way that it's supposed to be because this is how it is. Now you got to ask yourself, how do I want it to be moving forward? What do I want the next chapter of my life to be like? I'm shooting this video in January 2021, the first week of January, a brand new year. I don't believe in New Year resolutions because most people expect to fail. I believe in New Year revolutions. We're going to have a New Year revolution, right? Where we revolutionize our approach to living life, where we have a different approach. We're not going to do the same things that we've always done that don't get the results we want. Or maybe you got results, but it was so damn stressful, right? Or you sacrificed family members, or your marriage or your relationship with your kids to make money. These are mistakes that people have made so many times. So I recommend that you don't do what everybody else does. And if you haven't gotten what you wanted, maybe you need to stop doing what you've been doing as well and upgrade your beliefs, upgrade your mindset. Every 5 years, I'd learn extraordinary tools from my clients and from going through the experiences, and I put it into a book. That's how I got, what to do when you don't know what to do. Was the first book I wrote, I think in 1997 or 99, I can't remember. And then The Power of Optimism was the next one, right? And then I helped a whole lot of people with weight loss. And so I wrote a book called Losing Weight Without Losing Your Mind. And then I helped a whole bunch of people in sales. So I wrote a book called Sales Mastery. And then I wrote a book a few years ago that was all about self-sabotage. It's called Get Out of Your Way. And then the book that comes out January 19th is called One Belief Away. It's my One Belief Away method. It's my special proprietary blend of tools that I've pulled from 8 years of studying psychology and getting advanced degrees in psychology to advanced certifications in hypnotherapy and hypnotism to advanced certifications in neurolinguistic programming. All these tools, I've just been a sponge. And then I pulled from all of them into a set of tools and strategies that seem to get the best results with just about everybody. People are like, what's your success rate? And I'd say it's about 90%. And if people tell you it's higher than that, they haven't had enough clients. Because I don't care who you are, I'm not God, I can't help everybody, and not everybody that shows up is ready to put the work in. As a lot of people show up and they sabotage themselves. I've had clients that have paid me for a program and then never showed up for the program. I've had people that say they're going to do it and then they don't, right? You can't help that. Sometimes people just aren't where they need to be yet for the breakthrough to occur. I don't know where you're at. Maybe you're ready for that breakthrough, that next level to get to, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're just kind of taking it in a little bit. Wherever you're at, I've got some education for you. I just shot a brand new series on how your mind works, so I'll be providing the link here. The videos are done. I just don't have the website done to drive you to it yet. So, but when I get that done, which will be done in about a week, then I'll share that link and you can go through and start learning what I've learned. Except instead of spending 32 years to learn it, I'm trying to condense it down so you can take the best of what I've learned and start use it to apply your life. Start using it and apply it in your life to start getting better results so you can live your best life now. It's all completely free, no pitches, none of that stuff, just giving you upfront value so that, one, I can live my mission of ending needless emotional suffering. So I'm giving this to you and to the world. And then two, I want you to have a little bit of training and background so that by the time you join one of our group sessions or we do an individual coaching program, you're kind of already up to speed. You've already solved a lot of your problems so that or found a lot of solutions so that if you are feeling a little stuck, you've already got farther than you were, and then I can help you problem solve those specific issues, which are usually beliefs. Sometimes you don't have the right tools. I've collected a lot of amazing tools over the years, and so wherever you're at least you've got a little bit more education so that when we get together and connect, it's like magic. It's like boom, power, right? Power's happening. So the magic is about to happen because I want to get results right now. I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend 20 years. That's why I looked outside of the field of psychology to get better, faster results, because what was being taught was too slow. They say it takes months and months to change someone who has a phobia, to get rid of a phobia. Well, I was doing it in 20 minutes, right? And so it takes forever to find out what somebody's unconscious beliefs are and to change them. You got to have them do psychoanalysis and free associate for 15 years. Why? We could do it in 30 minutes. Right? And so there's so many tools, and I'm going to be talking about this more on a regular basis, the problems that I have with so many of the approaches out there and why they don't work. I started out as a skeptic. I started out with being skeptical of everything, especially hypnosis. I didn't believe in any of that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'll believe it when I see it, right? I'll be the judge of it. And I had a prove it attitude. And when I showed up to a seminar, when I showed up to a training, that's how I was. Prove it. Show me. I want to see it. You know, and it's how I've always been. And when I started seeing some of the breakthroughs with my own eyes, I'm like, holy crap, what is this? And how come more people don't know about it? And then I knew what my mission was. I'm going to learn how to do all this, and I'm going to tell as many people as I can while I'm alive. And then hopefully my programs will keep teaching people when I'm dead. Okay, and on the next trip. Okay, so anyway, so I promised you 3 tips, 3 strategies that you can use to start achieving your goals easier. The first one, get out a piece of paper and just write down what your happiest outcome will be, and write it out like you're describing it to somebody in detail. Writing down your goals instead of having a loose idea of what you want in your mind. You know, I want to lose weight. Well, you're not gonna. If you just tell yourself, I want to lose weight, you're not gonna. And even if you manage to lose a couple of pounds, you're just going to gain it back because you don't have a clear enough image of what you really want, what would have to improve for you to get that, how you're going to feel as a result, what's going to happen if you don't take that action. You're not setting your brain up for success, and so you won't have it, right? So that's why people exercise or start eating healthy in January, and they get to the 3rd week of January and they're already have given up. It's not because you can't do it. It's not because you have no willpower. It's not because of any of the excuses that you might be using. I don't have time. I'm too stressed. It's not a good time. It's just how I am. You know, my family doesn't support me. Everybody has the same excuses. That's not why you're not getting what you want. It's because you haven't trained your brain properly. Your brain's like a computer. My phone can only run the software that's on this phone. It can't do anything else but run the software that's on this phone. Well, if this software isn't designed to get the outcome that I want, then no matter how powerful my phone is, I'm not going to get the outcome that I want because the software is not set up for it. Well, in your brain, your software are your beliefs and how you're set up for success. And what we have to do is upgrade the software. We upgrade our phones, we upgrade our laptops and our desktop computers all the time. When was the last time you upgraded what's going on in here? See, most people haven't. Some people, a lot of people, I would say the majority of human beings are walking around with the same MS-DOS program that they were born with. And so, you know, what happened is we don't tend to learn more. We just tend to reinforce more of what we learned when we were little, which means we're walking around with a bunch of little kids in our mind driving our behavior. And if you want to see examples of that, flip on the news lately and watch all these immature people who are running around like children acting out and having temper tantrums. It's sad. So we need to do something to take charge of our lives. We need to do something to take charge of our minds, because if you don't take charge of your own mind, someone else will control you and take charge of you. And often that's already the case. Some jerky teacher or immature parent or mean pastor or priest or childhood friend, you know, somebody probably already said negative things to you when you were little and it got absorbed and then you started believing that crap, right? And so I'm telling you, I would have people come in and, you know, of all walks of life, even people, you know, super, super successful in business or with their family or with their health, but we all have our stuff. We all have something that we're working on or struggling with, and they would come in and we'd start working together, and it turns out something when they were 5 years old, something when they were 12 years old, something when they're 15 years old happened, and it wasn't the experience, it was the belief that formed about that experience. What does that experience mean? And it got stuck in their head, and it's been sabotaging them ever since. So it's very important that you teach your mind what you want it to do. So get out a piece of paper and write down. Do not type it on your laptop. Get a pencil. Really old school, right? Get a pencil, get a pen. I like a pencil because my buddy Joe Vitale says a pencil is so powerful because you can use it to create. And if there's something you don't like, you just flip it around with that eraser and erase it, right? And then create what you want. And it's a power in a pencil. And I thought that's brilliant, Joe. So, and by the way, Joe helped me finish my One Belief Away book because there were certain things not certain things, certain experiences that I hadn't accomplished yet, certain understandings that I just hadn't figured out yet. I maybe needed another few years of training, but instead of spending another 10 years figuring it out, I surround myself with people who've already figured it out. And I asked Joe to help me fill in those spaces, and he graciously did. And it's been beautiful. It was an amazing year of writing that book. It was an amazing experience of the back and forth and all that. It was awesome, and it's all in that book, right? I mean, truly, save 30 years and just get a $17 book. And it's a thinner book. It's not one of these giant, masterpieces. It's a tiny masterpiece, and it truly will transform your life. So, number one, write down what you want in as much detail as possible, how you're going to look, how you're going to feel, how you're going to behave, what you're going to be saying to yourself that's new, what activities you're going to do to be getting that so that that happens for you. And then, and also write down what's going to happen if you don't take action today. And then as soon as you write that down, take one action towards your goal, whatever it is. Do one thing, take one action, move towards your goal. Okay, so that's the first strategy. The second strategy is start imagining in your mind that you're actually having this goal. Imagine it already achieved. Okay, imagine what you want already achieved. It's like giving your brain a blueprint, and your blueprint says, this is what I want. All right, now I got to figure out ways to make this happen. If you don't give yourself a blueprint for what you want, then you're going to be focusing on what you don't want. Okay, so I was on you can't see my t-shirt. I was on being interviewed by Luke and his dad Troy. And Luke I think he's 12 years old, and they have this kidpreneur family challenge, teaching kids how to be entrepreneurs. And I loved it. So they interviewed me, they had me on, and I asked Luke, I said, Luke, if you want to be a better basketball player, should you imagine shooting baskets and they go in the hoop, or should you imagine missing shots? And he said, well, you imagine the ball going in. I'm like, that's exactly right. But you know what most people do when they think about their goals? They think about why it won't work, how hard it's going to be, why it's probably not going to work out anyway, and even if it does, it's probably not going to last. What they're doing is they're imagining missing shots, and then, of course, that's what their brain does because that's what you're telling it. So you've got to imagine what you want. And if your brain says, oh, you're just fooling yourself, oh, you're just lying, oh, you're just, delusional, you're in denial, that's fear. That's fear. That's just you being afraid you're not going to pull it off. Where did that fear come from? A limiting belief, a negative belief in your head that you had some experience where it didn't work out, and your brain formed this belief that, oh, I must not be good. And that is the BS belief systems that are in our heads that we got to clear out. We got to pull those mental weeds, plant flowers. So when you get an idea for what you want, you create this image for what you want in your mind, then you imagine having it, and then what's most important, you don't use visualization, you use feelization. You use feelization. I can't remember who it was now, his name, but he was a sports coach for a famous football team, and he said, I teach my players feelization, where you imagine what it feels like to achieve your goal. Now, a lot of times people are like, I have no idea what that would be like. Pretend. Make it up. Guess. I mean, you want the goal for a reason because you think it's going to make you feel a certain way. What is that way? And start to pretend that if it already happened, how would you feel? And then start to get into that feeling, because feelings drive behavior. And if you get excited while you're thinking about some new activity, you're going to engage in that activity. Think about stuff you're already motivated to do. I mean, if someone says, hey, you want to go to the movies? I'm like, yes. I like movies, right? Especially now, I'd love to be able to go to the movie theater after being in the house for so long. And you don't have to motivate me for it, because I get a picture in my mind of walking in, seeing the movie posters, the lights, the smell of the popcorn, the feel, the energy. I get excited about it, going into a big audience, reclining back, just very, it's exciting, and I know that I'm going to be entertained because I'm only going to go to a movie that I think is going to be really good, and I think about that feeling and I get excited. I'm like, yes, I've associated pleasure to the goal, and so boom, I follow through. I have no issues with motivation. Now, if I have to do my taxes, I have a whole different set of images and what goes on. At least I used to. I've changed that now so I can have fun doing my taxes too. Ah, okay. But for a long time, I hated it. I dreaded it. I waited to the last minute. I'd be doing my taxes for 19, or for let's just say 2020. I'd be doing my taxes. They would be due in 2021 in April, and I'd be doing them in 2021 in March. Like 30 days before I do the whole year of last year's taxes all at once, instead of going a month at a time or a couple months at a time. And so then it would be just a nightmare. It would take me days to be able to get all the stuff, put together for my accountant, just to get it to my accountant. So I had to change that. I had to change that around. So I associated pleasure to the feeling of having it done and feeling caught up and my desk being organized. And ooh, I like that feeling. I want that feeling. Then I think about, all right, I'm going to take my big goal. And this is your third step. I'm going to take my big goal and I'm going to chunk it down into smaller goals, right? Instead of trying to eat an elephant all at once, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Okay, so you take a big goal, you break it down into small goals, you have little milestones, and then you start to think, all right, what's my first couple steps? What's my first couple steps? And you prioritize. If I could only do one step today, what would it be that would give me the best possible outcome? And that's how you prioritize. And then you think about that one step, you associate that fun feeling to it, you know what the outcome is, you know why you're doing this because you've already wrote it down on paper, and then boom, you are taking action. So you're going to write down what you want, create a big story about it, and then you're going to start feelization. You're going to use feelization. You're going to start thinking about having what you want and how good it feels, so you get that energy inside of you. Then the third thing you're going to do is you're going to prioritize, break big goals down into small goals. If you want to lose 50 pounds, you focus on getting rid of the first 5 pounds, but you don't really even focus on losing weight. You focus on gaining thinner, healthier habits that give you more energy and vitality. That's how my clients that have lost, I've had thousands of clients who have lost tens of thousands of pounds and kept it off because they don't diet and they don't focus on losing weight. They have a whole different approach. They do the opposite, right? They focus on gaining thinner, healthier, happier habits. That they make loving deposits into their health and happiness account. It's a whole new fun way of doing it, and that's why you get results, because it's pleasurable in your brain. When you think about losing weight, it's probably like, oh my gosh, right? You associate a lot of yuck to it. Well, that's not going to help you. That's the exact opposite of what we're talking about. You want to make more money and all you keep thinking about is all the bills and debt you have, that's going to sabotage you. If you keep thinking about, improving your marriage and all you keep thinking about is the last time your spouse ticked you off, well, that's not going to help you, right? So use those 3 tips. Focus on writing down your new outcome. Get excited, feel it, imagine you already have it, focus on what you want, imagine it's working, and then the third step is to prioritize and break steps down. All right, this is my milestone, these are my couple of steps, this is my first step, most important step, I'm going to get excited about it, I'm going to feel good about it, and then you act on it, you execute, you take action. Do it now, do it now, do it now, and then boom, you find yourself charging forward. And when you do that, oh my gosh, that's when the magic starts happening. That's when you're getting results. That's when you're feeling motivated. That's when all kinds of cool stuff's going on. So I want you to use these tools and strategies. And then January 19th, go to Amazon and buy a copy of Tim Shurr's book, One Belief Away. Tim Shurr and Joe Vitale's book. Sorry, Joe. Such a habit. So this is the first book I partnered with someone. I'm used to just writing my own. Joe's written like, 80 books. I don't know. He's written so many of them. He's a brilliant author. So, but Dr. Joe Vitale and Tim Shurr's new book, One Belief Away. Make sure you grab a copy of that on January 19th. We want it to be a bestseller, and so it is a bestseller. It is a bestseller, and we want you to be a part of that. You're going to be a part of it. You are a part of it. See, I keep updating my own words as they're coming out of my mouth, right? So you're a part of it. I have a best-selling book with Joe Vitale, and you're a part of that, right? So January 19th, go order your copy. It's going to be amazing. And then we have a Legend Summit coming up January 23rd and 24th of this month. I've got some of the most extraordinary legends of personal development and best-selling authors in the world. We've got John Assaraf, and who the more I spend time with him, the more I love him. Dr. John DeMartini, same thing. We got Tom Ziegler, the son of Zig Ziglar. We have Ken Blanchard. We have just so many extraordinary people. Linda Larson, Barry Shore, Michael Haig, Jim Cathcart, Joe Vitale, Patricia Fripp. Marilyn Sherman's going to be with us. Rebecca Zung, she's like the top 1% of attorneys in the world. She's extraordinary. So many amazing people that you just got to see it to believe it. Go to legendsummit.com and check that out. Get your front row seat and use coupon code SAVE100. SAVE100 all together. Save 100 and it'll save you $100 off your ticket. So the 2-day ticket's only $97. Wow, awesome. And you're going to love it. They love my last summit. This is my second one. The last summit was extraordinary. And if you want to see that one with Bob Proctor and Les Brown and Dennis Waitley and Brian Tracy and just, Mark Sanborn, and I mean the list is ridiculous. Then just go to legendsummit.com/summit2 and you can check that program out and get the replays. So as you can see, I got a lot of tools, a lot of strategies for you. I worked my tail off in 2020 so that in 2021 I could provide you the highest quality, best training on the planet for how to live your best life now. So take advantage. I'll put the links below for those events that are coming up. Share this with your friends and family and make today a sure success. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.